Hey, welcome back to my kitchen table. This is Preach. Thank you so much for joining me again today. I know some of you are still laughing at our last video and thinking, hey, he's going to have problems again with this one. But I hope I'm a little bit more prepared this time. As we begin to look at chapter 9, we're still talking about the triple threshold of intimacy. 3 things that has to happen before you are ready to have an intimate relationship. And sadly, some of you, that opportunity to pass these on your own was stolen from you years ago. However, I'm still just using this as a pattern to show you what it takes before you can have a relationship to even today. Most of you have, the first one we talked about last week, the one you're still laughing at me about, is the physical part. You have to reach a physical maturity. Now, some of you had that taken away from you years ago. I understand that. But today, you may have already reached, or probably have already reached that plateau or that threshold. But in order to go forward, there are 2 more thresholds you have to cross for an intimate relationship to be a healthy relationship. And today I want to talk to you about a relationship and a threshold that you have to pass, and that is the trust threshold. You have to pass a trust threshold. You have to trust. You have to trust in order to move forward and have a healthy, intimate relationship. So many times an act was forced upon different individuals and they didn't get a chance to earn that trust. They didn't have a chance for someone to gain that trust for them. It was thrust upon them. Some ladies went through a process where they were being groomed by someone in order for them to get what they wanted. I don't mean this to be kind of playgroundish talk, but sometimes people begin to try to groom young ladies and try to make them trust them. And whenever that they do begin to trust them, it's then they spring the trap. Well, if you trust me, if you love me, or since I do trust you, I guess it's okay if I let you touch me there. Since I do trust you, I guess it's okay if we do this or we do that. And so once that trust has been built, without the other 2 thresholds, they do no good. You have to have all 3 of these. You have to have all 3. You can't just grab one of them and say that's it, but you have to have all 3 of them. With the trust thing, there are several different things you can call. You can call it respect. You can call it whatever you want to put in there. But you have to, an individual has to gain that trust from you before your relationship with them can be a healthy one. Now, here again, it may be taken away from you years ago. But today, as you move forward in your life, instead of just going like our infamous chapter number 3, instead of going in something like that, if you begin to try to find someone that you want to have a relationship with and spend some time getting to know them, and spend some time getting to trust them, and spend some time beginning to build that trust and build that relationship, instead of just falling into bed at the first opportunity. I'm going to tell you something. That's what a good man is looking for. Too many times people get this ideal in their mind, well, if I'm not having sex with him, he's going to go find sex somewhere. If I'm not doing this, then he's going to go, you know what? You're a picker. You are the picker. Let me put it in short terms for you. If he does not want to wait on you, he doesn't deserve you. One time I was counseling with a young lady and her husband. I said she was older than I am, but we were, she was talking with me. Her husband was in the room, and she had had some surgeries done, some cosmetic surgeries done, and she was still a little bit swollen from the surgery. She was still recovering from the surgeries, and she looked at me and she goes, "I'm going to be so pretty." And I looked at her and her husband sitting around the room. I said, "Anybody who don't think you're pretty now does not deserve you." And the tension went up like 100 degrees in the room from my statement. But that's something I really believe. If a man is not ready to love you and cherish you, and if he doesn't think you're the most beautiful thing he's ever seen, he doesn't deserve you. And you are the picker, so you need to keep looking. You need to keep walking down that aisle through the produce department and keep looking for someone who will love you and who thinks you are. There is a song my wife and I both love. Matter of fact, the song came to us. We were hitting a rough patch. We were involved with a little rough patch. Some things that happened in our personal life that, in our ministry, that had just exploded. And it's happened in the ministry, and it was carrying over into our personal life. And it had just exploded. I was hurt. My wife was hurt. We were devastated. We didn't know which way to turn. We didn't know what was going on or anything else. And one of the things that happened is we had gone to Oklahoma City, and we had gone to one of the gospel bookstores there, and I was always looking for soundtracks and things like that to sing. And my daughter had found a soundtrack that she liked, and so she had asked if we could get it, and we did. And in the process of it, we brought it home. And on the way home, she goes, "Hey, Dad, we're coming home on the way home." She goes, "Hey, Dad, put this in the CD player and let's listen to it." And so we put it in a CD player, and the song is called "Walking Her Home." It is kind of a ballad, and it begins to talk about a young man takes his girlfriend on a date. She's like 16, and it takes them through their life, how that they had a child. It takes them through their life, how that they grow old, and the course is he was walking her home, holding her hand. And there's one part about it, I get emotional when I start talking about it. There's one part about it, and after a while, we began to kind of sing along with the music, and a lot of times I have a tendency to sing the words wrong, and my daughter got real mad at me this night because I was singing it wrong. I was singing, "To him she's the most beautiful thing you'd ever seen," which is a little bit different than what the words that were written. And my daughter was getting a little upset at me, and she goes, "Dad, that's not the words, that's not the words." And my wife said, "Cassia, shut up. Let him sing it any way that he wants to." And that 45-minute drive home, God began to do a healing in mine and Mama's relationship, because after 41 years of marriage, she was my high school sweetheart. We got married at 18 in 1977. I'm sitting here now. She just turned 60 2 days ago. I will turn 60 in 2 months from today. So here we are, 60 years old, and we've been married since we were 18. We dated for 12 months before we got married. And at 60 years old, she's still the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. That's what you deserve. You deserve someone who looks at you and sees you as the most beautiful woman he's ever seen. You deserve someone to look at you and see you as someone whom not only does he trust in, but someone who you can trust in. You need to have someone, or you deserve someone, that whenever that they look at you, they know they can tell you their deepest, darkest secret, and you will not tell anyone. You will not even tell your best friend. You will not tell anyone that you run around with. You will not tell anyone. You won't tell your mother. You won't tell your sister. You know, I've heard that. We're sisters. We tell each other everything. Well, this is something that, you know, he's looking for someone who, he's the best friend, and you don't tell anybody else what he's seen, what he said. And you can trust him to tell him whatever you want to. And you know beyond a shadow of a doubt, it stops with him. He's not going to betray that trust. There is a saying that goes around that says, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be misquoted and used against you at the appropriate time. Well, you need to have somebody who's not looking for something that they can use and misquote and take out of content. But you deserve to have someone that you can tell your deepest, darkest secrets to. And understand that it stays right there with them. They don't share it with no one. It's a confidant that you can talk to. It's a confidant that can talk to you. And you have this trust level so much in each other that first off, number one, you're not going to do anything to hurt the other. That's what I hate to see so many folk in relationships begin to do. They take those intimate times, they take those secret times, and they begin to use them against the other one whenever it suits their case. And that's not a relationship. Well, he hurt me. Well, evidently, he was not one that you could trust. Evidently, he was not one worthy of you picking him. But we've been together 50 years. Okay. 50 years is a long time. 50 minutes is not. And so many people try to rush that trust thing. I don't know, is it because they're in a hurry to just have anybody? And have you looked in people's grocery sacks or grocery carts as they're walking through the grocery store? You know, some of those bananas that you rejected because they were either green or because they were overripe, they had big black spots all over them and plus big black streaks, and you know, you looked at them and you knew those were rotten, but yet they put them in their basket. That's what they wanted. It's not what you have to settle for. And this is what I'm trying to get you to start doing, is looking and trying to build that trust so that you can be together for 50 years. So you can be together longevity, have a longevity in your relationship. Your relationship and the people that you bring into your life will have consequences with every phase of your life. Whether it's good or bad, there's going to be some consequences. You bring a fella into your life, and he's a good husband. He's a good provider. He's a good partner. Or you bring someone into your life who's a no good for nothing bum, and he does everything that you ever wished he wouldn't have. Whenever you bring someone in, whenever you pick someone, there are consequences, good and bad, to your choice. And before you let someone into your basket to take home, maybe you need to think about it a little bit. I know Mama, a lot of times whenever we're at Walmart and she's walking around Walmart, so I'll go around there and I may look at this or that or whatever, and I come back in a few minutes and she'll have this whole basket full of stuff, and I'm kind of like, I've learned a little bit better now, but the first couple of times it happened, I was like, we don't have the money for all of that. Now she has this big basket worth of stuff. I said, well, what you got there? That's some stuff I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about this. And she just keeps putting stuff in the basket, put stuff in the basket. And I keep thinking, you got a whole lot to think about here. But evidently, she's better than me. I'm kind of a one-track minded kind of guy, but she's got this multiple track thing going on, and she's thinking about stuff and checking this out, and grabbing this and doing this and doing that and doing that. Then I may walk off and come back in 20, 30 minutes, and I notice that it's thinned out a little bit. Once it thins out just a little bit, I may leave and come back, and she may be at one of those check the price here places, and she's scanning it. She's scanning the things she's looking at, and she'll put something over the side. I'm like, aren't you going to get that? Nope. Why not? Well, I'll pay so and so for it, but I'm not going to pay that for it. They're asking so much for that, and I'm not going to pay that for it. I would pay that, but I'm not going to pay what they're asking. That ain't happening. And so she begins to think about it. You might ought to just kind of wait a little bit and check it out before you start putting it in your cart, or especially before you get to the checkout stand. Because if he's going to force you to do something that you don't want to do, first off, he's not building trust. He's not wanting to build a relationship. He's wanting to be happy tonight. I'm plain, and you know I'm plain. But if he don't want to build a relationship, why are you wasting your time on him? If he don't want to build a relationship, why are you wasting your time on him? This is why I'm trying to get to you to see is that you're the picker. You deserve more than just being a one-night stand. You deserve more than being a booty call. You deserve someone who loves you, who cherishes you, who respects you, who you're the most beautiful thing he's ever seen. That's what you deserve. You deserve someone who wants to be with you and you alone. And ladies, that's building this trust thing. And part of building that trust thing is waiting for you to decide we've passed the second and third threshold, not him deciding when and where you're going to have sex. Notice I didn't say an intimate relationship, because there's a difference between sex and an intimate relationship. And if he's just in it for the sex, guess what? In a few weeks, you'll be by yourself. When he's done with he got what he wanted and he's done with you, he'll move on to target number 2 or target number 74. But if he really and truly wants to be with you, he's going to wait till you're physically ready. I know in my last video we dealt with the physical development, but let me take this a little bit further, because it deals with trust, is until you're physically ready to have a relationship with him in an intimate way. So that you cross that threshold of trusting him, that this is not just what he's here for. He's not just here for the sex. He is not just here for whatever you want to call it. But he's here because he cares about me. And then he'll wait till you cross that third threshold that we're going to talk about next time, called love. Called love. Let's pray. Father, as I come before you, I thank you and praise you for your many blessings. And Lord, I just worship you because of who you are. All that you have done for us, Lord, I worship you and I praise you. And Lord, I ask you right now in Jesus' precious name, take these simple words and help my friends begin to glean from them. And help my friends begin to understand that you are still in control and that you will take them to that place that you want them to be. And we'll give you the praise for this in Jesus' precious name. Amen, amen, amen. Hey, here's a couple of discussions questions I'm going to throw out. I'm sure your leader has some others, but here's a couple I got here that I'm going to throw out. What are the requirements to consider someone trustworthy? What do they have to do to show you that they are trustworthy? Here's another one. How has your trust been broken or used or abused before? What happened? Did you trust someone and they just used it? How did that happen? What happened? What happened? Here's another. Do you require someone to earn the privilege to cross all three thresholds? Do you require someone to cross all three of these thresholds before you have a relationship with them on another level? And if not, why not? And if not, maybe you need to go back and read number 3 again. The infamous chapter 3. If not, why not? What does someone have to do to prove to you that you are trustworthy? That they are trustworthy? Here's the last one. This may be the biggest one. Do you be honest with me? You're talking about this one. Do you trust yourself? Do you trust yourself? Do you trust yourself to make a decision over who you let into your life? Hey, thank you so much for joining me. Next time we're going to look at chapter 9, the third threshold. That threshold is called love. Come back and be with us. Until next time, may God richly bless you.